Hello everyone and welcome. This is part 2 of the $15,000 debt payoff strategy. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and watch the first video where we lay out exactly why we're trying to pay off over $15,000 worth of debt by the end of the year. So that means from now, April until December, we're trying to knock out over $15,000 of student debt. But to briefly summarize, in case you did miss it, my wife and I sat down and we thought through what are different areas of our budget that we can pull money from to support this goal. If you're trying to pay off almost $16,000 in 9 months, you got to have a plan as to where you're going to get the money from. First area is the monthly payment. We are able to continue making monthly payments. Right now, it is during the coronavirus times, and I simply have been working from home. So I'm very fortunate in the fact that I still have a job, still taking in an income, and can work from home. So I'm still able to make that monthly payment. Now, this loan is now going to be interest-free, so we're going to try even harder to pay it off as fast as we can. Number 2 is going to be identifying extra money that we have that we can put towards this loan. Part of that extra is the fact that I got a 35% pay raise by switching to a new job. It's essentially the same job, it's just a new company, and I was able to step up one level in my career, and my wife and I recognized that we weren't going to touch any of that extra cash that we were taking in. We're going to set all of it aside to pay off towards her debt. Number 3, I run a lawn care side hustle. So I'm an analyst by day and a landscaper by night. So when I get home from the office, if I go to the office, lately I haven't been going to the office, but when I get home, typically I head out and I mow lawns. So any of the profit that we get from the lawn care side hustle is going to be dedicated towards this goal. The fourth area that we're pulling money from to pay towards this goal is our stimulus check. As I already referenced, I didn't lose my job, so I am able to use this money towards our goal. Again, I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. Not everyone can do that, and we've recognized that, but we're going to try to be as responsible as possible with this money and use it to knock out our debt. I referenced in the last video that I had the stimulus check and it was going to be going towards this goal, but let me break this down briefly for you. We're actually going to take the check and divide it by 6. We're not just going to take the entire amount and dump it onto the loan all at once, because there still is uncertainty in the market. I don't think I'm going to be losing my job, but I want to be safe. So we're taking it, dividing it by 6, and we're going to take 1/6 of it and pay that every month for the next 6 months. That means at the end of 6 months, when interest rates kick back in, we will have used all the cash from that to pay down as much as possible. But in the meantime, if anything happens in the springtime, I still have a good buffer, that good cash buffer of what we have left to work with to pay bills. So over the next 6 months, as time goes on and the uncertainty decreases and the economy opens back up, hopefully, I'll be able to use more and more of the stimulus check towards our goal. So at the end of the summer, hopefully most things have been stabilized by that point. I'm not really sure, but they're probably going to be more stable than they are today. By the end of the summer, I'll have $0 in cash from the stimulus check, but I won't need it because things will be stabilized and it will all be paid towards the goal. Whereas today, I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like, so I have all that cash in the bank and I'm only paying a portion out at a time as time goes on. So the 5th area that we've identified that we're pulling money from, because the last 4 all combined won't be enough to pay off the entire debt, we're going to be still left with some. We're going to look for ways each month to pay off more debt. I've already done this by actually decreasing our car insurance. We have older cars that we don't need to have on this higher insurance, so I decrease the car insurance on my wife's car. If it gets wrecked, we don't have full coverage, but it's not worth that much anyways, so we're paying a premium really for no need. So we're going to actually be saving a considerable amount of money by doing so, and we're going to take some of that, put it towards this goal. So personally, I like to see things in a visual representation. I like to see progress visually, and that's why I actually created a dashboard to represent our goal. As I mentioned, there's 5 different categories that we're pulling money from. There's going to be goals across the board. There's going to be interest rates during part of the time, but not the entire time. So to help myself track this and to keep me encouraged and motivated to see the progress, I created this dashboard to help me visualize our progress. This is kind of like a pathway for me, and it keeps me focused on our goal and actually really encourages me as I'm seeing that progress happening. I get really excited to continue on the journey. So when we're month 4, 5, 6 months in, and you get bogged down, you're like, why am I even doing this? I could be putting this money elsewhere. This will help keep me focused. So let's jump into the dashboard. Okay, now that we're in the dashboard, let's just review a few things to kind of get a grasp of what's going on here. In the top left corner here, you see what is called scorecards. These scorecards are simply high-level data points to give you insight into certain metrics. So for example, debt payoff goal, pretty straightforward. Our goal is $15,960. We currently owe $1,102. Sorry, we actually paid $1,102 towards the goal. And we've paid, that is 7% of the goal. So we're almost 7% of the way there. As we move towards the right, you can see this is what's called a cumulative timeline. So in April, you can see our goal is $1,654.57 for April. The reason why it's very specific is just simply because we took the goal and divided it across a number of months. So you can see here that the goal for April is $1,654, and we currently have paid, as of April 8th, we had $530 paid, but as of more recently, we have $101 paid towards the goal. As we move into May, we're going to owe more money. Now you can see in May, we will need to have paid $3,656 by the end of May to keep track of the goal. I mentioned earlier that this is cumulative, so this number is in addition to April's number. So you see here, in April, we owe $1,600. In May, we owe about $2,000. You combine these together to get that $3,600 number. So as you go throughout time, you can kind of keep track of, okay, by, say, September, by the end of September, we need to have paid off $11,584 to get towards our goal. But as we move to the right, these are just percentages of each month and how much each month is going to cost. In certain months, we're going to be putting more money towards our goal, and this just quickly breaks that down. So July is going to be our highest goal of $2,023. That's simply because I have one extra landscaping job scheduled for July, so I've already allocated those dollars towards this goal, hence why July is a little bit higher. As we move down, you can see here's how much we've paid off in April, and here's what we owe in April. You can see we still have a ways to go. Now I do have a couple payments coming up next week that will go ahead and help us get to the goal for April. So we should be fine by the end of April. We should have met this goal. So come May, we can work on paying down this $2,000 goal. As I noted earlier, I am taking the stimulus package and I am splitting it up over 6 months. So part of it's in April and it runs through till September. The reason for that is because at the end of September, interest rates kick back in on this student loan. So I want to use up as much of the stimulus money that we have before the interest rates kick back in. That would be during these months. But I don't want to use it all up front because there's still uncertainty in the market. There is still the potential for me to lose my job. I don't think that's going to happen, but just in case, I have staggered that cash over the number of months so that as time goes on, I believe the economy will slowly stabilize, things will become more certain rather than less certain, and as time goes on, I'll have less and less cash in my bank account, but I'll be more confident in the economy. So you can see I could dump all that money straight into April, make April's goal really high, make the rest of these goals really low, but for the time being, I'm actually gonna just keep that cash and slowly make payments with that each month until September. Once interest rates kick back in, I want to have paid down as much as possible. And then pretty straightforward on the right, this is just our total goal and how much we've paid so far. So over the summer, this will increase to eventually get to the end. So I hope this quick overview of this dashboard kind of helps you see what I am doing to keep on top of our goal and to make sure that I am meeting our little goals on the way so that I know at the end of the year I'll have fully paid off my debt. This is just a great visualization to keep me motivated so that I know every month, like, oh, I hit July's goal, we're good for July, let's work on August. So you get these little quick wins throughout the year, and that really keeps you motivated and it keeps you honest, because if you pay $100 less in August, you know I'm not going to make it to the end. I need to come up with $100 over the next 4 months to make that money up. So it just kind of helps you realize that goal and kind of creates a path for you and kind of helps encourage you along the way. Now, if you're wondering how the heck I put all this together, if you have a Gmail account, you have access to this tool. It's called Google Data Studio, and it's simply taking a Google Sheet, which is Google's version of spreadsheet, and doing some data visualization. I do some data visualization for my day job, so I'm a little bit more familiar with these types of tools, but I can make a video walking through how I made this. But to summarize, this is a quick rundown of what is running that dashboard. I have 4 columns. I have my date as when I'm making payments. I have how much those payments are. I have what is the method of the payment, and then I have a goal column. This goal column is simply that $15,000 number divided between the months. You can see that I have it set for the first of every month. Now, as I go throughout time, on the first, say on April 1st, I made a $500 payment, and that was from extra money we had. That would then reflect in the dashboard. That green bar would jump $500 because this green bar and this green bar and everything from our amount is coming from this amount column. Now, that's not the case, and this isn't the real dashboard I'm using. I'm actually using it off of a different sheet here, but you kind of get the idea. So pretty straightforward. You just use 4 columns, and pretty quickly I had this visualization put together. Now, knowing myself, I'm probably going to change this a dozen times. I like changing things up. I like finding better ways of visualizing things. I could take this payment method and make this like a staggered chart that shows like the extra amount of money is 32% of what we're paying, whereas the landscape income is only accounting for 20%. If I wanted to do that, I could. So this will likely change over time, but at least I have this as a starting point. So hopefully this helps you kind of see what I'm working with to accomplish my goal. And I wonder, would this help you in accomplishing your goal if you could really visualize what's actually happening? So building that dashboard really helps me recognize what is my goal, breaking it up into bite-sized chunks, and then trying to get those small wins throughout the year to eventually get to my finish line. Would this help you? Would visualizing the data help you? You saw that it only took 4 columns on a spreadsheet, and you could see a vast amount of information on that dashboard and different ways to look at it, so you can really help guide you through your debt payoff journey, or whatever your goal is, whatever you're trying to save for or pay off. You could really visualize this using this same tool. So this has been part 2 of the debt payoff journey that my wife and I are on. I'll make routine updates on this to show the progress. And again, I can dive in and I can actually record myself building this same dashboard so that you can do it yourself. This is Google Data Studio using Google Sheets. Everything is free. If you have a Gmail account, you have access to this tool. It takes a little bit of work to get used to the data part or the data visualization part. But again, I've done this for my day job a number of times, so I'm pretty familiar with the tool or other data visualization tools. So I can throw together a quick tutorial to help you build your own dashboard so you can track your own goals. I hope this video has been helpful for you in seeing how I am going about my journey and how I'm visualizing my steps that I'm taking to get there, and it's going to help encourage me. If you enjoyed this, I ask that you please like and subscribe.